I think a lot of people are sad in a way that doesn't even look sad anymore. They're not crying every day, they're not having huge breakdowns every day. They still laugh, they still go to school, they still send snaps, they still sit in Discord calls, they still scroll TikTok in bed until it's way too late. But something feels off. And if you know that feeling, you know exactly what I mean. It's that weird empty feeling when the day ends and you can't even say why it felt bad. Nothing terrible happened, but it still felt wrong. You got through the day, you did what you had to do, you came home, threw your bag on the floor, you said you'd rest for 10 minutes, then suddenly it was dark outside, your room was a mess, your homework was still undone, and you just spent 2 hours switching between TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Snapchat, and staring at your ceiling. And the worst part is, half of the time you're not even enjoying it, you're just trying to make an evening disappear. I think that's where a lot of people are at right now. Not happy, not fully miserable, just weirdly numb. And that kind of sadness is dangerous because it blends into normal life as well. You can have it while posting your videos, while joking around, while still watching Netflix, while still going out sometimes, while still telling people you're fine. But deep down, your life starts feeling flat. I remember having days like that. You get home after school all tired, but not really tired. More like your brain is just fried. You open your phone before you even take your shoes off and check if your video got any views. No new comments. You refresh again anyway. Then you end up watching some random guy talking about making 10 grand a month at 17, then a gym edit, then some dramatic clip, then a boxing video, then another. And suddenly it's time for bed. You were meant to do something real, either homework, editing, going to the gym, practicing, anything. But now the whole evening feels ruined. You tell yourself you'll do it tomorrow, but then tomorrow turns into the exact same thing. And after a while, you stop feeling like you're living your life. It starts feeling like you're just burning through it. That's why so many people are unhappy. Not because life is hard or impossible, not because happiness is some magical thing only a few people get. A lot of people are unhappy because the way they live their life every day is quietly making them feel weak, distracted, behind, and disconnecting them from themselves. That's the real problem. Most people think they're sad because they need more fun. They think they need more free time, more entertainment, more excitement, more parties, more people, more plans, more money, more something. But a lot of the time, that's not it. A lot of the time, they don't need more stimulation. They need a life that doesn't make them feel bad when the world gets quiet. Because think about it, what do a lot of modern lives actually look like? You wake up tired because you stayed up late on your phone. You go through school half asleep. You wait all day until you finally get home. Then when you do get home, instead of actually enjoying your evening, you waste it in tiny pieces. 10 minutes on TikTok, a few snaps, YouTube Shorts while eating, checking Instagram, looking at your views, watching people talk about success instead of doing anything yourself. Then at night, you wonder why you feel like garbage. That's not a mystery. Your brain is overloaded. Your attention span is shattered. Your life has no real momentum. And the stuff you're using to feel better is usually the exact stuff making you feel worse. That's why even fun doesn't feel fun anymore. You load up a game you used to love and get bored in 20 minutes. You open Netflix and spend more time choosing something than actually watching it. You hop in a call with your friends and half of the conversation is dead air and everyone else is scrolling too. You wait all week for the weekend, then waste the whole thing and somehow feel even emptier Sunday nights. That is such a horrible feeling. And I think one of the saddest parts is that people start blaming themselves in the wrong way. They think, maybe I'm just an ungrateful person, or maybe it's just what growing up feels like, or maybe I'm depressed. And sometimes people really are dealing with something deeper. That's real. But a huge amount of the sadness people feel nowadays comes from something much simpler and much uglier. Their life doesn't feel good to live. Not on paper, actually live. The hours feel scattered, the habits are trash, the sleep is trash, the phone is always there, their mind is never quiet, they're always comparing, always behind, always saying they'll start tomorrow, always needing one more distraction just to get through a normal evening. Of course that person isn't happy. Why would they be? You cannot spend all day feeding your brain junk and then act surprised when life starts tasting bland. And this is where people usually want some deep, beautiful answer, something poetic, something soft, something like, just appreciate the little things. But honestly, if your habits are a mess, then that advice barely lands. because you can't appreciate your life properly when your head feels like a browser with 50 tabs open. So let's say the real thing. A lot of people are unhappy because they are overstimulated, disconnected, and living in a way that makes them respect themselves less. That's the truth. If you keep breaking promises to yourself, you will feel worse. If you keep wasting every evening, you will feel worse. If you keep flooding your mind all day, normal life will feel dull. If you keep saying you care about your future but live like you don't, you will feel even worse. That doesn't make you broken. It just means the way you're living is pulling you away from happiness instead of toward it. And that is where actual happiness starts. Not with some huge life-changing hack, not with some fake positivity, not with some pretending everything is amazing. It starts when your life actually gets a little cleaner, a little quieter, a little bit more honest. I genuinely think happiness is way closer to peace than people realize. Not excitement, peace. The kind where you wake up and don't instantly feel like escaping the day. The kind where your evenings don't disappear into random junk. The kind where you can sit in your room without needing TikTok blasting into your brain every 6 seconds. The kind where you can actually enjoy a walk, a game, music, a meal, a conversation because your mind isn't completely fried. That kind of happiness is real. And the annoying part is that it comes from simple things people keep ignoring. First, you need momentum. This matters way more than people think. One of the biggest reasons people feel sad is because their life feels stuck. No progress, no movement, same routines, same mistakes, the same late nights, the same "I'll start tomorrow." That destroys your mood. You don't even need huge success to feel better. You just need proof that your life is moving. And that could be anything meaningful. Finishing your schoolwork before the night is dead. Going to the gym even when you didn't feel like it. Editing your video instead of just sitting there thinking about it. Actually starting that side hustle to earn some extra money. Cleaning your room. Saving your money instead of wasting it on random nonsense. Those things seem small, but they change something deep inside you. Because now the day meant something. And days that mean something feel better to live. Secondly, stop frying your brain every second. This one is huge. If the first thing you do every morning is open TikTok, check Snapchat, refresh YouTube Studio, and jump straight into noise, your mind never gets a chance. You're basically teaching your brain that normal life is too slow unless it comes with a glowing screen and 5 things happening at once. Then later, you wonder why nothing feels fun. That's why, because your reward system is cooked. So if you actually want to enjoy your life, you need to make it quieter. Not forever like you're in a library, just less stupid noise, less random scrolling, less checking things for no reason, less scrolling in bed, less eating while watching shorts, less background stimulation every second of the day. Boredom is not your enemy. Sometimes boredom is the thing that brings your brain back to life. Thirdly, do things that are real. This sounds really simple to understand, but most people don't. They spend half their life around fake versions of things, fake connections, fake progress, fake excitement, fake relationships. Scrolling through people's lives is not living. Watching gym edits is not working out. Watching money clips is not making you money. Watching productivity videos while your homework is still untouched is not productivity. You need real things in your day. A real workout, a real conversation, a real walk, a real piece of work finished, a real hour where your phone is not in your hand. That's what makes a person feel alive again. And finally, and probably most importantly, you need to actually like yourself. Not in some cringy love yourself way. I mean actually like the way you live. Because it's very hard to feel happy when deep down you don't respect your own routine. When every day is full of delays, excuses, and little betrayals. When you say one thing and do another. So if you actually want to be happy, don't ask yourself how to feel amazing all the time. Ask a better question. How do I build a life that I don't constantly need to run away from? Because the people who can answer that honestly are usually the closest to happiness.